Good evening, I'm Ramy Inocencio. A new case of the deadly coronavirus has been confirmed in the U.S., the latest case in Massachusetts. It's the 8th in the U.S. and the first on the East Coast. Health officials have declared a public health emergency. Nearly 14,000 people worldwide have been infected and more than 300 have died. And nearly 60 million people in China are under travel restrictions. Ramy Inocencio leading us off from Beijing.
The CDC says the new case of coronavirus is a Boston resident in his 20s who recently traveled to the center of the outbreak, Wuhan, China. He's been placed in isolation. Also today, tech giant Apple announced it would close all its stores and offices in China until February 9th, joining a growing list of companies restricting operations here. This all comes as the World Health Organization declared a global health emergency, and the U.S. State Department raised its travel advisory for China to the highest level, meaning do not travel to China.
A new study out by the British medical journal The Lancet estimates that more than 75,000 people have been infected by the virus as of last week. If that turns out to be true, it would confirm what many already fear, that Beijing is massively underreporting these numbers.
The CDC reported that even if patients' initial tests for coronavirus are negative, they could still develop the illness because the test only works when patients have symptoms. A study also showed the virus can be transmitted by patients with no symptoms. A woman who traveled from Shanghai to Germany infected 7 other people while she remained asymptomatic. Those findings contributed to the decision to place 195 Americans housed at a California air base in the first federal quarantine in 50 years. They will spend 14 days there.
The best way to control a virus like this is to keep people away from everyone else while you run out the clock on that incubation period.
That approach continues on a massive scale inside China's Hubei province, the epicenter of this outbreak. More than 50 million people are still on lockdown and unable to travel. Ramy Inocencio, CBS News, Beijing.